is day 4 of My 30-Day World in conjunction with Dragon Grin, Dead Man's Guide to Dragon Grin on Kickstarter, which you can find down there. I'll link it. You should check it out. It's fucking great. Today's question is, who is the most renowned hero in your setting? Hero is not something that I associate with my setting. Heroics and saving the worldliness, if you know what I mean. There's no knights, there's no that kind of thing. Fame in Iskloft is more important to people, and glory, so that people will talk about you, so that people will remember you when you're gone, and so that Odin will bring you into Valhalla when you die. So fame is important, reputation is important, and if it comes to those sort of things, then Gunnarsson is the most renowned hero of the setting. He's a legendary figure. He's the first king of Iskloft. So the setting currently that all the games are run in take place about 800 years after Gunnar. And during Gunnar's time, Iskloft was not Iskloft. He was from Sodafjord, and they believed, the Southerners, which didn't have much contact with the rest of the continent, they believed that the place to the north of them was called Ostland. This is the place that Gunnarsson conquered. He went to this place and conquered it and named it Gunland in his honor, because he's a Viking and that's what they do. And from there went on to conquer a lot more of Iskloft. Now he did this through nefarious means. He was a paladin, I guess you would say. Really like the chosen warrior of Tyr. Tyr being the god of law, of war. And Gunnar was chosen by him and did very well under him, although once during his life Gunnar broke a peace treaty and attacked those who came under the banner of peace. He lost his connection to Tyr for that crime. He had a child later in his life, Gunnar, and the child was born deformed and like with scales and horns, like a little demon child. Through no understanding of Gunnar's, he didn't know why that happened, and so he commanded the child to be killed. He cannot have something like that walking around, but the child wouldn't die. And so one day, Gunnar and his companions were walking through this island, this sort of enchanted island where a witch lived. And there Gunnar encountered a Alfar. The Alfar are these ancient malevolent spirits that tend to offer bargains, and it offered to Gunnar a bargain, a very simple one. You can have everything you desire, all of the ability to conquer, everyone will love you and follow you, and your son, your deformed son, will be perfect and happy and healthy. And so Gunnar accepted that deal with the Alfar. He gained strange powers, eldritch powers, and retreated to his castle at Vormhold. There is still a Gunnarsson in Vormhold. No one knows if it's the same Gunnarsson or not. There are rumours that it is the same one. The original Gunnar had an unnaturally long lifespan, although they say he died because his son Dagran became the king of Iskloft for a time. They don't tell that story in Iskloft. What they say is that Gunnarsson was a legendary king, that he conquered all of Iskloft except for the very, very far north where the Jotun live in the mountains, and that and he's basically celebrated as like a sort of Napoleon figure, or like an Alexander the Great figure in most of Iskloft. Now I say most of Iskloft because one of the factions, the cultures in Iskloft, are called the Iron Eyes, and they stem from Brynjolf Agnarsson, who was Gunnar's huskarl, his best friend to some extent. And he saw what happened to Gunnar in those final days and hated it. It broke his heart, some say. But he keeps that story alive, that Gunnar fell to dark forces. The Iron Eyes still tell the story that it was Gunnar. That Gunnar is not this legendary king, that he's this legendary traitor who fell from the favour of the gods into the favour of the Aelfir. So that's probably the most renowned hero, although also a villain, depending on your point of view, which to me feels much more Iskloft anyway, in Iskloft. So that's today's question. I hope that was informative. If you have any questions, please hassle me with them. I really want to answer questions about this setting. Throw them in the comments below, and I will happily talk about them. I will talk about Iskloft into infinity forever. That's it. Check out the Kickstarter. At the end of April, I will be starting my own Kickstarter for Iskloft, but there'll be more news on that soon. Thanks for checking it out, and see you soon.